Hey everyone, my name's Wyatt. I'm 27 years old. I wasn't born into Christianity. I became a Christian a few years ago. I have a short testimony here over the last few years of what's really happened with me. So my walk with God really started around early 2024. Funnily enough, my car radio broke and I wasn't able to play my music through my phone, so I started going through through the radio stations. And I found a Christian radio station called 88.3 FM, which is Voice of the Christians Youth in America. And I started listening to sermons from Charles Stanley and Adrian Rogers every morning, going to work. And they would be hour-long sermons every single morning for about a year. I asked Jesus one morning to help me out just with all the stress I was going through with work. And immediately I noticed a very noticeable difference in my life. And that day kind of changed me. It changed a lot about me. And from there, I was still a sinner at that point. I haven't fully given over to the Lord yet. I was still dealing with a lot of struggles. Let me see. Like I said, I was still a sinner. So at that point in early 2024, I had convinced myself with all the stress I was going through that smoking marijuana was a good idea. It would take away my stress, and that's just the big lie that the devil tells you. This is the first, how should I phrase this? The first real encounter I had with the Lord. Something I could actually count on as being an encounter with the Lord. One night while I was getting stoned, I started listening to the voice in my head. And it started saying, smoke more, have a little liquor, stuff like that, trying to tempt me into doing more things. I paid attention to that voice, and it was 3 octaves deeper than my own, and it wasn't my voice. I closed my eyes and I saw this deep blood red static, and I got scared. And at this time, I was praying to the Lord occasionally. I wasn't reading my Bible, but I prayed out to the Lord. And I went into a meditative trance. And I saw the most beautiful picture of heaven I could ever imagine. I saw the most beautiful white marble floors. I saw beautiful, pure white clouds, gold rays of sunlight peering through them, the most beautiful, deep blue skies you've ever seen, and the Father sitting on his throne right in front of me. And kneeling, I was about as tall as his big toe, and I'm a 6-foot-tall man. He was wearing this flowing, bright white robe and wearing sandals. He didn't say a word to me, but that in itself was enough to make me drop drugs entirely. I've been sober since, and thank God for it. Past that, I started growing closer to God, started reading a little bit more of the Bible, but I was still not truly a Christian. I was still living with a lot of my sins. In October of 2024, I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer, stage 3C melanoma on the top of my head. The surgery itself, because it was a very, very large tumor that they had to get rid of, was done on December 26th of 2024, so the day after Christmas. The surgery was about 6 hours long, and it took about 3 months for me to heal. After that, around January, my infusion started. And it wasn't normal chemotherapy, which is why you see my complexion now. It's not pale, gaunt with bags under my eyes, unfortunately. It's new medicine, but the side effects are a lot worse, in my opinion. The psoriatic arthritis started in my knees, my spine, and my hands 2 or 3 months after that, and it started becoming very hard for me to walk. After a few more months, around in May, halfway through my cancer treatments, I got fired from my job. The good part is that I started growing closer to the Lord because I was dealing with cancer. I had no job, so I had all the free time to read the Bible. So since that day, I've read through Genesis to Samuel, and I've read all of the Gospels, as well as Acts. And as a dyslexic man, it's a little hard for me to read, but I'm deep in the Word now, and I'm very thankful to the Lord for it. During that time period, right after I got fired, the arthritis is still pretty bad. I'm still having a lot of trouble walking. I am having to have a cane just to walk around. And the Lord, one morning before a church service, He brings me, He puts this bright white pressure in my chest and expands outwards. And I've never felt anything like it before in my life, and I knew it was the Lord. And I opened my Bible that morning, and I'm just trying to read through Matthew. And I'm praying because I feel this pressure in my chest. I'm praying to the Lord that He has something He wants to tell me, but I'm not sure what. And I'm just praying to Him and praying to Him and praying to Him. And a page of the Bible flips. And I look down at that page, and I pick out Matthew chapter 6, verse 34. Something about that I just lock into. And the verse is, "Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own things. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble." And that really struck with me because I was dealing with a lot at the time, but the Lord was telling me, just be patient. Everything will get better soon. Everything will get better soon. Past that, a couple weeks later, I start getting gallbladder issues, and I'm hospitalized twice. Every doctor I speak to is having me go to referrals for surgeons, and they're all telling me they want the gallbladder out. It's a side effect from the cancer treatments as well. So it's a permanent issue for a temporary problem. Past that, past the gallbladder issues, I develop a bulging and herniating disc in my spine, bone spurs, and radiculopathy, which is essentially the herniated disc in my back. It's pinching my sciatic nerves and making both my legs go numb throughout the day. As a 27-year-old man with previously no medical experience, I was starting to feel both my legs go numb completely throughout the day, and nothing would wake them up. And it was terrifying to me. Because I had to stop driving. I really couldn't do anything. I had to crawl through my house just to get around, because I was just so afraid of falling and breaking my spine. Let me see, during the wedding of Ethan and Ashley Layla, the morning church service that day, I was praying to the Lord because I had asked my mom to bring me, and I was sitting in one of the pews, my normal pews that I normally sit in, and because there was no translator that day, I had about 2.5 hours with the Lord just to myself, and it was very nice. So I was praying out my heart to the Lord, just praying and praying and praying. Both of my legs go numb. I can't move, I can't stand, I can't do anything. And what happened was, as I'm praying, there's a call for everyone to rise for a prayer or to read part of the Gospels. And I can't move. I can't get up. But the second I say amen, and I mean the second I say amen, both of my legs are healed. I can feel them again. And for the past 30 days, I haven't had the same numbness ever. Not for 1 second. And it is truly a miracle from the Lord. Because all of the medical scans that the doctors have done on me from the 6 times I've been hospitalized since September, they've all seen the same issue. The radiculopathy, the bone spurs, the herniated disc, they're all seeing that. I still have some of the pain, but all of the nerve pain is gone. And it is the most incredible thing. For something so debilitating that took away my feeling in my legs, that stopped me from walking, instantly healed within a second. All gone. I don't have words to describe it. It is a true miracle that I've experienced here. And as an outsider coming into your church, I'm not Romanian. I'm an American. I'm half German, half Danish. I don't speak your guys' language. But coming to this church and I get healed in it. Of course I'm being baptized here. Of course I'm getting baptized. It's incredible. I thank you all for being here today. I really do. I appreciate it so very much. Thank you.